And yes, I'm putting the tires back on it.
Screwing up, tired of going down, tired of myself, tired of this town.
Eminent Waste of Time, presented by CW Motorsports, episode 102. I'm Doug.
And I'm Steve.
And we're going to cut right to the chase on this show. We've had some shakeups and some changes, and some things have morphed. And the biggest news is probably that Chad has quit his job at IU and has now gone to work for CW Motorsports. So that's kind of put us in an interesting position on this show because we are primarily sponsored by CW Motorsports. So in the interest of not having a conflict of interest, we've actually removed Chad from the show. Maybe he'll be able to come back at some point in the future. We don't know. But logistically right now, we thought it was better if he wasn't involved. He's still going to be involved with Eminent Performance. And I know this is huge, crazy news for all of you. He is not going away entirely. But since the show is primarily sponsored by CW Motorsports, we don't want to have any appearance of impropriety or anything else. So I'm back for the time being. I'm actually going to be back for the foreseeable future. I have no plans on leaving EP. I had to take a little bit of a breather there while we moved back up north, but I'm back. And you can see we've got Steve Mueller with us, who's been on the show a bunch of times, and he's going to be doing the
bottom of the barrel,
a lot of the co-hosting, and yeah, bottom of the barrel. No. Top of the barrel. You were the stuff that floated to the top, and I don't know if that's good or bad.
That's a good way to put it.
So I know that's a lot to digest at the beginning of episode 102, but we didn't want to keep you guys hanging. We want to always be upright and forthright and let you know what's going on, so we're not going to spend any more time on that. You're still going to see Chad. It'll be okay, we promise.
The attorney bills are going to be horrendous from this, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a thing for a while, but we will muddle through. But Heartland Challenge was a big deal this year. A lot of interesting stuff happened there, and honestly, I'm really kind of heartbroken I was not able to go. We were in the process of moving back up north. We were in the middle of selling one house, buying another house, and I also had to go overseas for work to Mozambique. In fact, I just got back from there yesterday. Well, be yesterday as of the filming of this, but Saturday the 7th. Yes.
I hope
I just got back from there.
I hope your travel experiences were way better than mine were yesterday. I'll tell you that right now. They literally spilled, I think it was over 25 gallons of fuel under our airplane trying to leave Orlando. I was down there for a conference for work, and it was very interesting and caused a lot of delays, which then made us miss our connecting flights. So then they rebooked us on another connecting flight, and it got delayed. It was just an absolute mess traveling yesterday for us. So hopefully your experience was better than mine.
It wasn't a ton better, I'll put it that way. It was a little bit better, but we also had plane malfunctions. The indicator up front that told them how much hydraulic fluid they have was fluctuating wildly, so they didn't know if they actually had a full hydraulic tank or not. And that's kind of important because it does stuff like, landing gear and wing control surfaces. And,
not necessary.
Small things like that.
No, none of that stuff's required.
Hey.
Whoa.
You guys think you're just going to do this show without me?
Hi.
Hi, Chad. Awkward. We didn't think you'd figure it out this quickly.
I know I'm slow, but
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans on Eminent Performance, Eminent Waste of Time.
Never.
Yeah. So,
okay, we could not resist the chance to pull everyone's leg because obviously Chad did switch jobs, but
There wasn't really a formal announcement. You may have picked it up on the
slid in there.
podcast, but yeah.
Right.
it kind of slid in there. But this serves as a informal, formal announcement thing.
Correct. So I have gone to work for CW Motorsports. I've been there a week and I haven't been fired.
It's coming.
It's
Whatever.
inevitable. It's in the future.
That's why I left IU, just before they could fire me.
Well,
You know what? On a resume, though, it says you were never fired.
Exactly. So no, I am not kicked off the show.
No,
Yet.
not yet. Well,
Yet.
yeah. There are a myriad of other reasons that could still happen, but for right now, you're safe.
True. So anyway, back to your guys' travel stories.
And what I did say is true. I am going to be back regular on the podcast, and my intention was never to leave EP lock, stock, and barrel, but I did need a couple month breather while a bunch of other crazy stuff went on. So, Chad, thank you for doing all the heavy lifting during that time.
Not a problem. I'm used to carrying your dead weight.
You know what? Somebody's got to do it. Might as well be you.
nice.
So, anyways,
Heartland.
it ended up being the plane thing was not that big a deal. They went and topped off the tank and found that it was a faulty indicator, and they got it switched out and everything was fine, and I didn't die is the long shot of that. But
Quickie Lube had left the drain plug out. Is that what had happened?
that's what it seems like. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the maintenance guy who was working on this, it was hilarious because one of these little regional jets. And so the maintenance guy that kept coming to talk to the pilot in the cockpit was so big he couldn't fit in the little hallway that leads to the cockpit. He's wedging himself in there trying to talk to the pilot. I was
In his greasy
dying.
coveralls, and he's greased the whole hallway.
It pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
it was he was not a small guy, and this was a small plane. But so yeah. Anyways, long story. Rerouted and changed around and stuff. I was not able to make Heartland this year, but man, it sounds like an absolute blast. And Chad, we've got some about 15-20 minutes left of other interviews that we're going to sneak in here.
Yeah, these are the post-race interviews that we're going to slide in.
Okay.
We didn't get to talk to everybody because some guys had to take off, who was it, Brad Ashby. He was taking off, and I just didn't get to everybody. Everybody kind of dispersed. Some of us stayed up to see what happened with the results because there were protests and stuff like that.
And this thing ends at, 11 o'clock at night, roughly local time?
Yeah, I think they got done racing about 11:30, something like that.
So you're waiting for everybody to finish their lap. So that's when the checkered is thrown. But you got to wait for people to finish their laps. And then if there's any protests, I mean, it starts getting late into the evening.
Yeah.
I believe it was 1:30 or 2 in the morning before they finally had made a ruling.
Yeah, I think, and Andy apologized because it took him almost 2 hours, I think, to work the protests. So.
Yeah.
Is what it is. I mean, you got to get it right, though. Otherwise, people lose faith in the series, and sometimes it stinks, but it's a long race and a long aftermath, but, it's done now. It's in the books.
Yep. So right here, we'll cut in with the post-race interviews, and then we'll bring you guys back, and we'll talk some more. So.
We'll walk up there. Hey, you still got your card out here? It's on top of my laptop in that chair.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
What?
tell us how you did.
I don't even know.
That's why I'm asking you.
He did great. He's celebrating with cake.
Did you see it?
Up against the trailer there. A bunch of protests going on up there right now. So the same
Ooh, I want to go up there and check this out.
How's it right now? 7.
I don't know. What do you want?
7th or 9th. You got one or the
7th,
other.
9th, 100th, I don't know.
So how did you like the X3?
It was fun. It's fast. I know why it's fast. And I say that kind of with a grain of salt because, a factory X3 isn't going to perform like that. I mean, Devin's got that car set up right. It's the cream of the crop.
Right.
And so I kind of would say I almost was spoiled by it, really. But, no, it was fun. Cody made multiple comments that I was just extremely fast in the woods. I was pulled away from people constantly. And we just ran into issues, and
Like broken ball joints.
Yeah, broken ball joints. But Todd Keller was literally, when I pulled in, right here, he was literally standing right here, and he didn't even hesitate. He ran right to his trailer and grabbed Keller ball joints, and the pit crew was absolutely amazing. They had that whole thing tore apart in minutes. I was even damn near out of the car, and it was already apart. So, but no, it was fun. I'm glad I got the opportunity, and I can't thank Devin enough for letting me, have the chance to do it. And yeah.
All right.
But I'm still a die-hard Polaris guy. I'm sorry. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, good job out there.
Yeah, congratulations on 100
Thanks.
last week.
Last week.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep. You look like you've just been scarfing chips and whatnot sitting there.
No, I don't think I could eat very. I had a piece of cake because congratulations on 100, but I'm hurting a little bit. I will say that X3 is amazing. It is super nimble through the woods, but that suspension is freaking terrible. I don't even know if it has any. I'm questioning that the shocks work. Hats off to Courtney because she rides in that thing. That is insane. It was nuts, but the car is great. It's so nimble through the woods, and I'll tell you, I rode with Steve a couple times, and that wasn't Steve Mueller driving that machine today.
Not the
It was,
normal Steve
oh
we know.
my God!
He was turning fast laps.
A couple times I'm like, Steve, slow down, dude, slow down. But I didn't say that. I never said that one time, but I was sure thinking it. But we were rolling.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, we had a few issues. Broke some ball joints. Todd Keller, Keller Performance. Hats off to that dude, man. Completely just got us ball joints, helped us change them back on the way. I mean, he needs hats off to him for sure. So
Good deal.
that was awesome. A little wiring issue. We pitted a few times. Probably a good thing we pitted a few times because my back was toast.
Less time you actually had to spend racing in the seat.
Getting beat up. Yes. Yeah. So.
Those brief 5 to 10 minute breaks. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, Devin, thank you very much for letting me ride. That was awesome. Your car's great. I think Can-Am needs to work on their suspension as a whole, not just particularly Devin's car.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, have a good one.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your guys' finish. We don't know if you got 7th or 9th. It's kind of up in the air right
Yeah,
now.
the TV screen I seen said 7th, but there's some protests going on right now, so we'll wait and see what they come out with at the end of that. So.
Yep. All right. Good enough.
Hey, yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks. All right. So what happened?
Well, had an okay start, and then there was a big bottleneck. Someone was flipped over back over there, and a bunch of us kind of went up a hill to go around it. And we got back on the track, and we followed the arrows.
Yeah.
But we were running the track backwards for the start,
Oh, that
remember?
was cute.
So we ran right back to the person that was flipped over.
Yeah.
So we were all taken back off, and it was madness. But I was third. Struggled in the challenge section a little bit the first couple laps. Those logs were slick, so I got hung up on one. I think it was on the first lap, but I didn't really lose the position or nothing. But I was able to get back going again. And then on the second or the third lap, I got hung up on it again, and then Plank came up behind me, and he got hung up on it as well. And so he stuck behind me. I couldn't go anywhere.
Right.
And so I tried to pull off, and they were yelling at me saying I couldn't. You got to go through the challenge if you're in it. I'm like, I can't go anywhere. I have to pull off.
Right.
So I just jumped off and hit the bypass. And after that, I kind of like, I'm just going to start hitting the bypass because it was costing me too much time getting hung up there. But then I lost a bunch of positions. I went from 3rd to 8th. I was worked back up a little bit, but then the final hour, I was like, all right, if I got to try to get on this podium, I need to start hitting it again and turn up the speed a little bit, and I did, and ended up getting up to 3rd.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
Rough
you.
track out there here.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Extremely.
All right. Well, good job out there.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Finished.
Yeah, we made it across the finish line this year.
Yeah. How'd you do? How'd you come out and finish?
It says we finished 10th. When we come across the line, it said second, so I'm kind of unsure on exactly where we are right now.
Those are two different numbers.
Yeah, they're pretty far apart there. They're having some issues, I guess, with some of the scoring, so
Okay.
we'll see how that goes. But with the issues that we had on the first lap, breaking a ham joint on the radius rod and breaking a shock and bending a trailing arm and then getting that slap back together and having a couple more difficulties out there on the track, just finishing was pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that.
So the track went away pretty quick, huh?
Oh man, that track got rough fast. There was a couple ruts that actually got so deep I think we hit groundwater because they were dry at first and now they're just soaked. It was pretty gnarly.
Good job out there. It's good to see you get out there and finish. I mean, would have liked to see the second place one if that holds true. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
But good job out there, and you persevered through some things that, you had some problems and you just kept pushing through. So.
Yeah, we ended up losing high gear on our transmission on the last lap.
Yeah.
So most of the last lap was done at under 30 miles an hour.
Well, but you crawled it home.
Yep, we made it here, and we'll still drive it back on the trailer. So.
Yeah, good enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
What's up, Chad?
How was the race?
It wasn't too bad, but it got rough within the first hour. I mean, it was real rough.
Where'd you finish up, do you know?
I think they said 7th. I was running 3rd until I tried to make a pass around an X3 that got me stuck. We want to say who's X3? Devin.
Devin's fault.
But other than that, yeah, it was great. I had a good time, and I'm going to be sore in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I'm going to consider it a finish.
Yeah.
I think it happened on the last lap.
It did. It did.
But, yeah, I led, I think, 3-4 laps, something like that.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good out there. You're turning consistent good laps, just over and over and over and over. Any damage on the machine?
I got a broken front axle.
Okay. Well, that's not too bad.
I ran at least 2 laps that I know of with it because I could feel it.
Okay.
And you go powering up some of the hills and they just want to pull one way, and I was like, something don't seem right.
Right.
But running down through this long stretch, it didn't have no vibrations or nothing. So.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Well, thanks.
Yep. We'll see you out there next time.
Yes.
So tired. I didn't finish. I'm so tired.
Okay, what happened?
Bunch of wiring issues, and I lost my four-wheel drive.
And I heard you took a razor nap a time or so.
Yeah, just once.
Just once.
It's not sad. I don't know how we flipped back over, but we did.
Yeah. Rough course, though, huh?
Rough, yeah. I'm ready for bed.
Yeah. You learn anything from driving in this one?
Yeah. Take it easy.
Don't do it again.
I mean, if you want to spend money, you do it again.
Yeah. Well, how'd you end up finishing?
14.
That's not bad.
I thought it was pretty good for being first 4-hour race.
Yeah, for several problems going on.
Yeah.
Not bad. Take it and do better next year, right?
Yep, hopefully.
All right, good job out there.
Thank you.
See you.
I'm sore. I'm tired. This beer's not helping either, so.
Enough of them apply.
I'm a little behind on everybody else is the problem, so.
Our unicorn left us.
He's actually helping.
Trying to rescue.
He went with one of the track sweeps.
No.
Okay.
It was in his
He went in his normal clothes. He said it was too hot. He was probably the top mechanic through here, is what I heard.
100%. 100%.
He changed A-arms, ball joints for everybody. So
there's a couple guys would have gave up if it wasn't for Archie swooping in and saying you're not giving up. And
he served his purpose, whether he was a unicorn or not. So.
He did it better as a unicorn.
I wish I would have been here to see it, I guess. But.
You'll see there's plenty of pictures of it. There's several people stopped and asked for pictures just
no shit.
So how was the track?
Very rough.
Yeah.
Rutted up. It was brutal. I mean, it got so muddy in spots that you had to hit it just as fast as you could to just make it. And then the last lap that I made, I had broke a ball joint, rolled it once, hit Bannon. I had no brakes, 3-wheel drive, no 4-wheel drive switch because it fell off when I rolled.
Like an X3 when they normally.
It was bad. It was bad. But I couldn't complain. I passed for first and broke the ball joint, and then Plank was in third, I think, and so we were top three.
Swapping back and around.
Yep, pretty much the whole race. Or he was in second, I was in third, and I think Brad Ashby was in fourth. So
your first Heartland, you like it? All you expected? Worse than you expected?
4 hours is a long time, very long time.
It is. It's a lot longer than people think.
It's not as bad in the car, but you can tell. Like, I'm looking at my clock, and it's like 9:45, and I'm like, man, I still got 2 hours of this.
Right. Having a clock's the worst thing to have.
Yeah, it was
better off not.
It was fun though. They changed the track, and it was pretty kind of confusing, especially at first. When that first lap, me, Bannon, and Brad, and everybody made a whole different. We ended up going backwards on the track and had to go. I don't know. I was the first one in the woods off the whole shot, and I was the last one out of the woods, if that tells you anything. So
you drove around and took the scenic route.
Yeah, we did take the scenic route. Yeah. We ended up on the back side of the track, almost to the finish line, or almost to up here. So, but
well, good job out there.
I appreciate it.
You gonna come back and do it again someday?
Hopefully. Okay. Hopefully we can. I got some work to do to mine. It's pretty mangled right now. So.
Okay. 4 hours is a long time in the car.
It is. So.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And we're back. Look at that.
It literally only felt like 10 seconds. That was amazing.
It really did feel like that. It's crazy.
Now we're like 20. Now we're like 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
It's like when you fall asleep after Thanksgiving dinner.
We just time traveled is what we did.
Yes, we are that good.
So, Steve, what place did you end up finishing? Because in your interview, you had not yet seen, because it was all sliding around at that point.
That's true. I ended up in 7th in open pro class.
That's not bad for the amount of troubles that you had. And why don't you tell everybody kind of the troubles, because we did some live feed stuff, but I mean, even that, it's like I basically handed my phone and the cameras over and I started working.
Yeah, so basically ended up, the track, my favorite word was moist, because they got a lot of rain leading up to the race. So the track went away pretty quick. And it got to the point where, it was just solid ruts, almost 2 foot deep, and okay, maybe not quite 2 feet, but you get the idea. So, you were on the skid plate most of the time. They were doing their best. They rerouted us a couple different times. But I don't know, probably 3, maybe 4 laps in from the end. From seeing the checkered, there was a big hill on the backside of the pits that was pretty rutted out and had been for the whole race. And Devin had 27s on the car, and I was down. I had no front wheel drive at all. I broke a right front axle, and I didn't know on the Can-Am, or at least the differential that model that Devin had in his. If you lose that, if you lose that
3-wheel drive,
if you lose that one, you lose it all.
I was waiting for it.
So I didn't understand. Devin tried to explain it to me before anyway, I couldn't make it up the hill. I backed up and just gave it a wide open, just as hard as I possibly could. Try to make it up the hill, and was going to try to find my way around that bad spot on the next lap. But I smacked hard on the skid plate at like almost the very tip of the hill, almost crested it. I was
just killed your momentum.
Yeah, I was probably 3 feet from the crest. It was just like almost there. We're gonna do this, and then boom! It was just a hard. You could feel it in the skid plate. It was just like boom, you're done. And of course I'm just throwing roost, and got. I think it was, who was behind me? I think Bannon. I can't remember. I think it was Bannon and Plank that were behind me. Well, they ended up backing up and making another line, or Bannon did end up making another line. He Barry bulldozed over a bunch of trees, made a new line around me. And then I think Plank, if I remember right, Plank tried to follow him and help him, or not help him, follow him basically around me and get around. And I think Plank had an axle issue or something. It was kind of off camber a little bit, so he couldn't make it on the same path that Bannon tried to get around me. And he ended up, I think, probably 75 foot, almost 100, down a ravine. He was okay, didn't roll or nothing. He just kept trying to back up to get momentum and just didn't have enough pull to make it. And, of course, the ground was just like wet moon dust. It was just, you spun the tires and just dug instantly. It was real loose soil.
Yeah. So
So I felt really bad. Plank did try to bump me initially before he tried to take off the same line. He tried to bump me at the top and try to help me over. It just didn't help. I was just a sitting duck in the track, and it is what it is. It
Don't lie. He just wanted to ram an X3.
Probably. It was kind of funny because I'm sitting there looking in the mirror. I'm like, don't try it. I know I'm hard stuck. It's not going to work. And boom, there it was. And, and then I watched, Mike back down and try the alternate line around because, obviously I was a bottleneck in the track. So he tried the alternate line that Bandit ended up on. And so I felt really bad, but I ended mine and Plank's race right there in the same spot. And it ended up taking a skid steer to get me out. That's how hard I was stuck. They sent a guy on a quad, and he pulled and pulled and pulled, and heck, I think I saw the rear tire spinning at almost 70 miles an hour while he was trying to tug on me and get me up. It wasn't enough, and then we.
Yeah, when you get stuck in the mud like that, though, and the skid plates on it, it's suction.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, you can't get it out.
Yeah. So 7th wasn't bad after breaking the ball joints, and shout out to Todd Keller for saving the day there, and I think
putting real ball joints in the front of that thing.
Yeah, we put upper and lower in it and a new axle.
Todd helped out Devin a lot there, and I think they've since worked up something else to get him the other side. So I think Devin is going to be sporting Keller ball joints from here on out now. So then,
or maybe he's only going to run the driver's side, but he'll only have a Keller sticker on the one side of the car.
Oh, jeez. That's funny. But no, I can't thank Todd enough for getting us back out there when that first happened, and kind of set us back. But yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, I can't really complain too much about 7th there. I will, however, say in a RZR I at least got 6th. I'm just saying. So.
Well, you also lost all your lights about.
Oh yeah, that happened too.
3-hour mark.
Yeah,
so.
It was funny when I took it back to Devin. He was kind of perplexed at first, and we were on the phone with him, trying to figure it out when it happened, and we kept looking at relays, and we totally never even thought about checking the headlight fuse, and that's exactly what it was. It was a blown 10 amp headline fuse that took out all the lights.
Oh.
Devin grabs another fuse, pops it in, all the lights came right back. So it was pretty funny.
But you know how it is. You're in a machine that you don't know. Like in your RZR, you know every inch of it. You know the fuses to check. You know all that stuff. So you're in a machine you don't know. It's 3 hours in. You're all tired. You're all punchy. You're just grabbing wires and trying to make crap work.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And we did.
And you did.
Yep. So something was still kind of off because I went back. I got all the pictures after the race from Garrett Hamilton, and it just about every picture. I think it was the top light bar was never on, and Cody and I kind of thought like it wasn't on or it didn't seem right. But if you hit a hard enough bump, it would come on, not like flicker. It would just on. And then you hit a hard bump, 2 laps later, and boom, it was back off. It wasn't it didn't seem like a loose connection flicker type thing, so we weren't quite sure, and the pictures verified what was going on there. But Devin's like, oh yeah, it was probably one of my crappy connections or something, so it was pretty funny. But, oh well, It is what it is.
Things happen. So, well, there are all kinds of events coming up here in the very near future for all of us, I think.
That there is.
Yeah.
So there is the Powder Puff race coming up here in, 3 weeks? Is that right?
Yeah, sounds about right. Maybe 2. Yeah, I don't know.
Chad, you're racing that, right?
No, Bunch is going to wear a wig and do it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what to say about that.
He's going to take the Sunday Drive.
You're actually going to let him do that?
No, probably not.
Okay.
Hey, in today's day and age, you can't ask questions.
He's identifying as a female at that moment.
There you go.
Perfect.
So, the unfortunate thing is, I don't think I will be able to attend that race.
What?
I'm going to be in Tennessee.
Oh, that's it.
I'm going to the Paragon event there at Brimstone.
That's it. This is already a conflict of interest. Sorry. That's
I
it.
know.
I'm gonna be. Wait. I just want to back up for a second for all of you people who are not jealous enough to have processed that. I'm going to be at Brimstone for work.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And we were going to bring Cody's new Pro XP that he ordered, and that was going to be like what we were going to drive around and stuff. But they've backed his sale date up, and we don't think he'll get it in time.
I haven't talked to Cody since I heard that, but supposedly it was only pushed back a week, so he may hear something.
Well, if that's the case,
he may hear something.
It may
this
make
week.
it.
But in the other news, by the way, they're supposed to Polaris is supposed to have the new Pro XP at the Paragon for demos and stuff. So
Yeah.
Worst case, you're gonna get to ride one.
Yeah, I'll definitely make it over there for that, and I'll video it, and I'll bring you guys all a video if that's the case. But either way, I'm going to be driving one. Since you've got
an XP Turbo, it'd be interesting to see what you think, versus the two, because they are quite a bit different. It's not just it's got a few more horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a
legitimately
legitimately different machine.
And mine's a pretty well tuned one, but Steve was showing me some dyno results of the Pro XP, and it seems to transfer power to the rear wheels really well.
Yeah, they Aftermarket Assassins got one on the dyno, and I think it had just under 40 horsepower of loss in the drain through the drivetrain, which is actually pretty efficient, really. He was able on pump gas, 91 octane pump gas. He was with kind of just a basic tune, was able to get 185 wheel horsepower out of that.
Yeah.
Man.
So.
Well, and this is, there's a lot of stuff different. It's not just a slightly modified, version of the ProStar engine. The transmission, the clutching is different primary, different secondary. I mean, this is a really different machine from what you're used to if you just have an XP Turbo.
Yep. And the water-cooled turbo is probably what's helping a lot, too, with the power.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're able to put more tune in it.
Well, and they say it's a little bit bigger. However, I haven't heard actual measurements yet, so...
Right. I'm really looking forward to the new seating position, how it looks lower and stuff like that. I think that's really going to help, but it's not so low like the X3 that they have to sacrifice some ground clearance.
It's factory adjustable, too.
Yeah. That's huge. But I have read several reviews that said it feels more like sitting in an X3 than an XP Turbo. Like you said, Chad, it's not as low, but it feels more like an X3. So if you're used to, if you've owned different variations of the RZRs over the year, this is going to be a pretty big shift.
I completely agree with that review.
Yeah.
I can now say that now.
I'm looking forward to getting in one. I hope Cody gets his in time. If he does, great. If he doesn't, I'll just probably take mine or something like that. But
I fingers crossed. Of course, I got a little bit inside there. I think he's going to have it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Okay, well that's good because if the first news was it got pushed back to October.
No, just a week.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's just a week, I think we'll be fine. We won't have time to do some of the things we were wanting to do to it before it went. But
well, and kind of to go along with a little bit of this news, I guess that we're talking about too is I'm getting another opportunity to go with my dealer this upcoming week to go out to Vegas.
Yeah, you're changing teams here. You drive an X3 in the Heartland, and now where are you
Well,
going?
my dealer picked up Can-Am, so their dealer show and reveal is this week, and he extended an invite, which I gladly... I mean, who can't pass up a trip to Vegas regardless? But so I'll be out there this week with him, and I was definitely going to talk to him with what's going on with Cody. The dealers have the ability to transfer from other dealers. Obviously, the losing and accepting dealers obviously have to agree on it. They can't just go, here, give it to me. But I fully anticipate that if there's continued logistic issues with the delivery of Cody and Sam's, I fully anticipate my dealer to go find one for them here soon. So I was definitely going to talk to him about that this week while we were out in Vegas. And
hashtag Steve in an X3.
Sure.
No, Steve's trying to get in a Pro XP for next race season.
Yeah, I'm currently in the process of going through the paperwork and the whole waiting game and all that. So
you say that. I think it's a quarter flip, which one actually pulls up in the line next March.
I always say that the lowest bidder wins here. So
I can be
CF
bought.
Moto's
I am
pretty.
for sale.
CF Moto's pretty cheap. You could go with that
Hey,
route.
if they want to drop one in the driveway, I'll give it a shot. Why not?
I will tell you now, reinforce and rebuild that front end.
That's
Steve,
true.
you're
I
used to
finished.
finishing
Yeah, I know. I
races.
like
that. Might be a really big adjustment for
exactly. It's the new Sunday Drive machine. How about that?
you. Ooh.
That would even be a
We were
stretch.
joking around. We like the CF Motos. They're good trail machines. For the money, they're hard to beat, but the front end is not built for racing. And we were joking that at race speeds, remember that old game Operation with the tweezers and you couldn't touch the edge or the light would go off and it would buzz? Yep. That's like driving one of those. It's like Operation. If you touch anything, you were dead.
Yep.
I bent 3 racks on that machine.
Yeah.
That's not very fun.
And took out tie rods every time. And Doug will attest to a lot of them were not hard hits.
No. One of them, I remember yelling, "What in the world?" Because we barely grazed something. We literally coasted into it as somebody bumped us from behind, and that was it. Tie rod folded up, and the race was over.
Yeah, it sucks.
So that's coming up. We've also got the Southern Mud Riders. They're doing their annual St. Jude event end of October. Let me look at the calendar-ish here.
Yep, it is the
yeah, it's close to Halloween.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 20. The Monday starting the 28th is kind of when they advertise it. Is that right or?
24th through the 27th is what I have on my calendar.
Okay, yep, that looks right. Yeah, because the 24th would be that Thursday. So, really, things kick off Friday evening. I mean, you can be there during the day Friday, but it's pretty slow. But really, the main stuff is they do night riding on the 25th on that Friday, and then Saturday is Saturday, Sunday are full bore, all sorts of stuff going on. So you can show up as early as Thursday. It's not going to cost you any different either way, but the real events start kind of Friday after lunch, Friday afternoon time.
Yeah.
But that is a awesome event if you want to do a different style of riding besides racing. If you like to hang out, meet a bunch of really cool people. But the big thing is they raise a ton of money for St. Jude.
Yes,
all
they
of
do.
the funds that come in from your gate fees at the park and a bunch of other stuff. They do a silent auction. All of items that were 100% donated, all that cash goes to St. Jude. They're not taking a big cut. They're not taking like half of the proceeds for themselves and half go to St. Jude. They, in the past several years, have raised at least $40,000 each year. I think last year they raised $44,000. Wow. And so we would really like to see this year if we could push them over the hump and get them up above 50,000. So if you have any desire whatsoever to come down there, please just come on down. It's a great weekend and it all goes to a great cause, and you're never going to meet a group of people that will just open their homes and their buggies and whatever else. I mean, I've never driven in the mud in my life, let alone one of these big lifted mud machines. And this guy, without even knowing me, he's like, "Oh yeah, take her through the hole. I don't care." So, I mean, just a bunch of great people. And if you've got some time on the calendar, maybe you've got some vacation time you need to burn up before the end of the year, I can't recommend it enough.
I think I'm going to try to make it down there. I've got it on the calendar, but got some kind of logistic stuff I got to work out in the back end with the family. So I'm hoping to try to make it. So we'll see. I definitely want to go down there and check out.
You need to put some bigger meats on the daily there and bring that down.
I just lost my lights.
Uh-oh.
That's fine. I can turn it back on. I've got one of those automated homes, so I can just pull up my phone here and turn the lights back on. And
I thought you just had to wave your arms around like a crazed orangutan to get the motion.
Yeah, I
sensors
probably
up.
could, but my motion sensor's a little far away. So let's see.
Steve in the dark.
Yep, it happens.
The best he's ever looked.
So yeah, that'll be a fun time. The Southern Mud Riders thing. So yeah, and then race. When is the last AXCC round, Steve? I can't remember. It's Missouri. I know where it is.
Yeah, it is coming up here in 2 weeks. It is in Walters Ranch in Missouri, the 21st and 22nd.
Yep, so it's a weekend right before the Powder Puff and Brimstone for me.
Yep. I got to manually turn on my lights.
Well, I'll check the calendar, Steve, but I can probably go to the Powder Puff with you.
Oh, cool.
I think I can make that happen.
That'd be fun.
Heck yeah.
And they did put the Powder Puff race to Friday night again, which was good because they were going to have it Saturday, and it's like, well, who's going to have their wife or girlfriend drive their car and then them not be able to race because they can't get it put back together in time because the
stuff's
race is
gonna
like an
happen.
hour later.
I mean-
yeah.
Especially on a motocross track.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Looking forward to that. I know a couple of the ladies have been out doing some practice, so...
Has your wife been out practicing?
My RZR hasn't even been started in like a month. No, she has not. So
Okay, is she driving your race buggy or is she driving the daily?
she's gonna drive the race buggy. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we shall see how this goes. We got to put
you
a different
co-driving
seat in
with
just
her?
so she can reach the pedals right out of the gate. So
Wait, I can bring a phone book.
yeah. I think I'm just gonna throw the stock seat in there with the slider on it. We're calling good.
Oh, there you go.
So, are you co-driving with her?
I don't think so. She actually requested Devin, so I don't know who's gonna go with her.
Ooh.
But no, I will not, because I will end up screaming the whole time at her. So
See, you should co-drive with Courtney, and he'll co-drive with your wife.
it may end up be what's happening, because I don't know who she's gonna have co-drive with her. Originally our neighbor was gonna do it, but they couldn't go. They had something come up, so I don't know what's gonna happen now. All I know is I want to stand up
Let
there
me
and
confirm
watch.
I can go, and I might be willing to do
There
that.
we go. There we go.
I'll make sure I get the music turned on.
I don't know that she's probably as particular about the music.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know what she'll do. The first time she ever rode with me, she couldn't figure out how to turn on the music. Of course, it was a different setup at the time, but we ended up rolling because of that. So
Perfect.
yeah, it was fun.
Oh, entertaining.
Always.
It happens.
So yeah, that's coming up. What place are you sitting in AXCC, Steve?
I'm in first in points right now. It's literally going to come down to this race. Either Greg's going to walk away with first, or I will. Greg Hayes from Iowa. So we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, certainly I would love to have first, but I'm not going to go out there and try to destroy the machine to do it either. So I have not seen anything on this Walters Ranch in Missouri where we're going. I don't know if Missouri's generally has a lot of rock. So I haven't seen I haven't seen any intel videos or trail riding videos or anything from this location. So I don't know what to expect out of this place. In the back of my head, I'm expecting rocks and hills, but we shall see. But like I said, I'm not going to go tear up the machine to try to take it home,
Is it close enough that you have to finish in front of him, or do you just need to finish like in the top 5 or something?
Whoever, if Greg finishes in front of me, he wins it. It's that close in points. If I finish in front of him, I take it.
You guys are only like 1 or 2 points apart.
Yeah,
aren't you?
I think we're like 2 points apart or something like that. Yeah. It's extremely tight. And then I think David Sauter, I think he's right behind us in third. But I don't think he could. I don't think he could catch either one of us, if I remember right, because both Greg and I were the only ones that went to Texas. So we're 25, 30 points up because of that. However, David has won quite a few races, so he's been able to put a good gain on there. So. But it's one of those really, really tight points run situations for us in the Pro-Am Turbo class. So.
Well, that makes it interesting,
yes,
doesn't
it does. Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same situation that Matt Hecker and I were in at MWXC last year. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. So we'll see.
Well,
fun
and
stuff.
Also, one other thing we've got coming up on October 5th, that Saturday, is also chasing the triple round 3.
Oh yeah, down at Texplex.
So that's coming up too, which I know we haven't talked a lot about that because there's been such a big gap between rounds 2 and 3, but that finishes up, so that could be interesting as well because there's a lot on the line for a lot of people there.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think anyone is eligible anymore for the King of the Elements thing anymore. I think because you had to win all 3 rounds.
Oh.
Well, all
you
3
had
rounds,
to
all 4
you had
races.
to win 3 out of the 4 races during the 3 rounds because one was a double race.
Right.
But yeah, nobody's eligible anymore. So
Yeah. Well, that saved him that payout.
yeah, no kidding. They're like, whoo.
I think Kyle Cheney, was it last weekend at Crandon? He closed out the, what is it? Is it Midwest? What's the name of the series?
Midwest Short
Yeah.
Course.
I think he finished out the
Midwest
championship
Short
on
Course,
that. That's cool. So congrats to Kyle.
Yep, good job. Yesterday was it LACC down there with Bubba and the guys down in Louisiana.
Yeah, 2.5-hour race down there.
Bubba's got to bring us a king cake if we go to the Southern Mud Riders thing.
Ooh.
I wonder if he's planning on going there.
I don't know. I haven't heard.
I haven't talked to him.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out. I would think that he might be trying to make it, but we'll see.
Yeah. So, but they had that. It wasn't a 2.5-hour race. Bubba raced 2.5 hours because he signed up for practice laps. Then he signed up for the B class, which was like their AM. And then he ran their pro row also. He said he did pretty good. He had some brake fade and ended up pulling off and just called it because he wasn't in points run or anything else. And the Hearts were there, so they ended up just putting on a show, I guess.
Yeah, I think they had some ties or were friends with the landowners or something, so they showed up down there.
Yeah. They're fast, and it was an open track, and that's what they're fastest at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is those open tracks.
So, lots of stuff coming up in the next few weeks.
Pretty much.
Better get the Eminent Performance jet fired up.
Yes.
If you can get Devin out of it, I know.
Yeah, Devin stole our jet.
What a guy. Well, you stole his buggy, so I guess it's only fair. We're all just trading stuff.
Right.
Oh, you guys didn't see that helicopter that got posted the other day? You gonna invest in that?
I talked to my wife. She was not thrilled about me looking at helicopters on eBay.
That's a cheap helicopter.
Somewhere right about in here, we'll post a picture of said helicopter. It is an experimental.
Home built.
How old is this thing? From the 80s or something?
What you guys can't hear is my wife yelling from the other room, "We're not getting a helicopter."
But you came home to a trencher in the front yard yesterday. I mean, come on.
Does she realize that's like throwing gas on the fire, telling you we're not going to do something?
I know.
Like I said, I got all that time on a Black Hawk helicopter. I think I could keep that thing in the sky for a couple hours.
It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, very, very similar. The concept's all the same.
Yeah. Some assembly required.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So, well, I didn't do any trivia this week. Nothing.
Yes.
That's
I
what
know.
I was waiting. I kept waiting for. I was leaving these big pauses, so you'd say, "Well,
I noticed.
time to do trivia."
I thought about it, but you know what? Right now, we're going to be pushing up to the 1 hour mark anyway.
Real quick, why don't you give everybody a quick brief of what you're going to be doing at CW before we close it out? Because I know that I'm going to start tagging you on things on Facebook.
Okay. I don't know all the parts that they have, so I can't be a ton of help on that, but I can help in some. So if you guys are looking for used parts, you can tag me and I'll be somebody who looks around and figures
Chad
out
will
if
find
we
somebody
have it.
smart who actually knows.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. But I am doing some product development. CW is going to start in on making some of their own parts. They already do the back half cage, but that's really like the only part that they make. So we're going to bring you guys some new parts, some things you guys have been looking for. We got one that actually I've already kind of mostly worked out the bugs on. I'm going to have some prototypes cut out at a local machine shop, and we're going to go from there, make sure everything looks just the way I like it, and that'll be coming on the market here pretty soon, and we'll just keep rolling out some new ones every so often as we get them perfected and worked out. And I'm going to be doing a lot of the social media and the marketing stuff and that kind of fun junk.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Wearing many hats.
You're going to make a full-on website with online inventory where I can just click to buy, see pictures of it, right?
Actually, yes, we are working on that, and it's already mostly done.
That would be pretty cool. It'd be like, hey, I need a banjo bolt for a right rear caliper, and you can like go on there and see pictures of it and then order it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get that detailed down into bolts.
I
and
know,
such, but
just random thought of the day after Bubba lost his brakes, and that banjo bolt on the Can-Am's a fun one. So
yeah, I don't know if that's what actually took his brakes out, or if he just boiled the brakes.
Yeah,
because I've seen that happen
Yeah.
too. So, yep, that's what I'm going to be doing there. I already am doing there.
Sweet.
Nice.
And we're doing a vlog thing that will release.
I saw
once a
that.
week.
That was pretty cool. The first one.
Yep,
Yeah.
the second one will be coming out. It should already be out by the time this comes out, so I'll put it that way. It should
That's
already
cool.
be out.
Nice.
Yeah, I like
So
that a
yeah,
lot.
we're doing that because at CW we get to do quite a few things that normal workplaces don't. Like going to Brimstone and such. So why not show you guys what we do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
So, yep, fun stuff.
Well, once you guys are huge and famous and making more money than you know what to do with, I want to be basically the equivalent of Mikey from,
American Chopper.
Yeah.
You just want to be the useless person who comes around and cracks jokes
Occasionally,
and
I'll
leaves.
do something like minorly brilliant, but yes, for the most part, I will just make people laugh and do stupid stuff and wreck things.
Gotcha. That's kind of my job though. So.
But it'll make for interesting, YouTube fodder.
Okay, gotcha. All right, good enough.
Buddy.
All right, is that it?
That's it. We need to close it out with our sponsors and let these people get back to their daily lives, I guess.
Well, we do want to say a big thank you to all of our sponsors. Of course, CW Motorsports, our primary sponsor for this year, our title sponsor, that has now sucked Chad out of Eminent Performance and transplanted him somewhere over in Effingham, Illinois. Watch Communications, who is still hosting this podcast and our website. If you need hosting for your site, you can still get 1 month free by going to watchcom with 2ms.net and putting in the code waste of time. Also, if you live in somewhere in the maybe more rural-ish areas of Ohio or Indiana and have crappy internet access, they can probably hook you up with something better as well.
Less crappy.
Yes, less crap. No, actually, it's pretty solid. They do really, really, really nice internet-y stuff. Spanx Fab, who is making just incredible parts out there, and if you've been to any of the races in the area, I guarantee you have seen tree kickers or a cage or something that was made by him, and all holds up extremely well. Can't recommend his parts enough. And then you got TGM Off-Road, who doesn't make parts, but they do make a mean pot of gumbo. So if you're really, really hungry, you can head over there, or maybe occasionally, after the beer and food is all gone, they might do a ride once in a while. But seriously, great group of enthusiasts. Started off around Yamaha Vikings primarily, but now it seems like everybody has a different machine. But the group has somehow found a way to bond, especially since the green machine, which is what TGM stands for, is no longer there. It's now a blue Can-Am. So,
Yep.
And yeah, I think that does it for that. You can find us on the web at eminentperformance.com, on Facebook /Eminent Racing, also on Instagram as Eminent Racing. You can find the video version of this on YouTube, and you can find the audio version on Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast and you feel like wasting an hour, we are probably present.
Yep. And that's it.
That's it. Wow. See, look at that. 2 months off, and I still can do a thing.
Yeah. There wasn't much skill required to begin with either, I mean, right?
Dude, come on, man. It's not a nice welcome back. And no matter how crappy and terrible your friends are when you've come back, thanks for riding along with us.
Thanks, guys.
Tired of screwing up, tired of going down, tired of myself, tired of this town.
Talking.
No silence. Oh.
Awkward silences.